Hello and happy holidays. I wanted to do something a little bit different here today. Since it's that time of year, I just wanted to talk about some video games that give me Christmas vibes or that Christmas feeling. Just some stuff I wanted to highlight in specific games. It may not be a game completely based around Christmas or the holidays, but some games with specific moments or themes here and there that I wanted to highlight and talk about, try and do something a little different today. Christmas is what I personally celebrate, so that's all I know. That's what I'm covering here, but whatever you celebrate, happy holidays, happy good time of year, happy new year. Let's highlight some of these games. The first one I wanted to talk about is Hitman, specifically. Obviously not the whole Hitman games, but missions. Now, the newer Hitman game, the suite of Hitmans, the IO Interactive's Hitman's 1, 2, and 3, World of Assassination games. The games get updated like an ongoing with a bunch of things and cool holiday events, and the main thing is Holiday Hoarders. Now, what this does is like a cool spin on the Paris map from the original new Hitman game, the fashion show map. And it is all done up with Christmas vibes, and you're essentially kind of hunting down Harry and Marv from Home Alone, obviously like a spin on them, but it's creative, and with the whole level being kind of done up in a Christmas vibe because it's already an absolutely gorgeous level in a huge kind of mansion type event space. They just really nail it. You can get a Santa costume, you can walk around and murder people as Santa, and I love it, but it wasn't the first Hitman game to do that. The first one that I really loved was from Hitman Blood Money. It had a whole dedicated mission called You Better Watch Out, and this essentially took place in kind of like a winter ski lodge penthouse kind of Playboy Mansion style place where you're tasked with killing Hugh Hefner, basically. Obviously, it's like a different spin. He's got like a different name, but that's what you're doing. And you're walking through this crazy wild party with everybody dressed up in like Christmas style outfits, and there's just Christmas all around you. The whole holiday thing is there, and you can kill Santa and take his costume and then murder Hugh Hefner. If that's not the holiday spirit, man, I don't know what it is. No, but in all seriousness, it's just a good classic Hitman mission. Back in the old days when the games were a little bit more simple, a little bit more straightforward, but still gave you enough freedom and room to mess around. And messing around as Santa Claus at the time felt like a big deal. It was a lot of fun. Now for this next game, I'm going to show my basic ass here. It's a game I talk about all the time, but one that gives me the Christmas feel sometimes are actually the Fable games. Something about it, it's kind of hard to put my finger on. It might be just kind of like the storybook vibe to it, the fantasy storybook vibe to it, the feel of it. I've talked about how Fable gives me that fall feel, but Fable also can give you that Christmas vibe as well. The Lost Chapter specifically added a snowy area that I thought really encapsulates a good wintertime spirit. Also, there's a specific demon door in the game. When you get through it, you're suddenly in this beautiful wintertime area with snow and a beautiful field and a beautiful cozy Christmas home in front of you that you can walk up to, and then there is a surprise. And if you know, you know. But that was sick. That whole image right there is like, holiday, wintertime goodness, cozy up on a blanket type thing. But also Fable 2. Fable 2 has moments, specifically the starting city in the snow when you're a child. It just has kind of like a Dickensian Christmas time vibe to it that just really, really hits. Fable games, if nothing else, people have problems with some of the RPG elements or lack thereof, or the Peter Molyneux things, the dreams that he did not realize. But in terms of tone and atmosphere, man, those games got it on lock. You can get immersed in a really cool fantasy world. Now, this next one is just a specific moment from a game. I may have talked about this before a little bit, but essentially the opening to Mafia II. Mafia II is a great game. I've talked about it before. The Mafia series is dope, but the way it starts with Vito coming home for Christmas from the army is really, really cool. Number one, the game in the wintertime as a whole just really nails it. There's something about that game. I think it's the color palette and the texture that they use on the streets that really makes it convincing. Like if you live in a urban area with snow, that it's like white and nice, but like mostly not. It's mostly more of like a gray, off-white, like just because of how things are. And I think Mafia really does a good job with like the sloshy, slushy streets more than anything. Just good snow design. I'm a video game critic. Good 10 out of 10 snow design. It really makes you feel like you're in the snow. No, but all seriousness, there's that. And then there's, after a night of drinking and going out, Vito decides to walk home. The taxi drops him off. He's there with his suitcase coming home for Christmas. And as you're walking down these snowy sidewalk streets, what's playing but Dean Martin's version of Let It Snow? And that is a Christmas banger, if you ask me. I don't know if it's like, the wise guy, let it snow, let it snow. It sounds like a total goof. You gotta love Dino. And the song just really, really works for that moment. And it just makes a memorable video game moment. And I love it. It's not much. You don't do much. You literally walk home. That's it. But the song, the fact that they got that song, the way they nail it, it works. This next one is an obvious one. I've talked about this one before, but I'll always take an opportunity. Spider-Man Miles Morales is a spin-off of the Spider-Man PS4 game, but it's a whole-ass game with a different spin on that open-world New York City. Takes place in the winter around Christmas time. And man, they really freaking nail it. From the beginning, where it throws you through a shopping mall at Christmas time, which is incredibly ambitious and like a wild scene to execute. It looked really good. But the fact that the city itself is covered in snow and has so many areas riddled with Christmas lights or Christmas stuff like banners and lights strung across streets, different neighborhoods having kind of different Christmas decorations to iconic New York City areas actually having the Christmas decorations kind of like they would have. It just works. It's really, really cool to see it represented in a game like that accurately. The Division also did that. Obviously, it's kind of like post-apocalyptic. It's like after everything went to shit, but that was technically around the holidays. But here, they go all in. I mean, you can swing around with like a little winter hat and a little scarf as Miles, and that's great. But the world itself, to me, it was important to see it represented like that because I've said it before. I think as a New Yorker, like I'm biased, but like Christmas in New York City, I think is one of the coolest things. There's nothing else really like it. It is both like chill and holiday smile, but also like energetic and exciting. And although like you can definitely write it off like mostly as like a tourist thing, there's a reason why people go to see it because it's nice, just good holiday stuff. And the fact that Miles Morales encapsulates some of that makes it a win for me. Oh, this other one I gotta highlight, Bully. There's like a section in Bully I remember. I think it's chapter 3 where you're in holiday times. So the town is covered in snow. The school's all decorated for Christmas. There's garland everywhere, Christmas trees everywhere. The town you explore in has a Christmas tree in the center of it. And it's just nice. It just works. Couple that with the game's score, which already kind of has a jingly, fun vibe. Just really gives you the feeling, you know? Couple that with a few fun wintertime things it gives you, like, you know, when you have to throw snowballs at townies and stuff. Like, it's nice. And it makes me like, man, I really want to replay that game. Like, it's been a long time. Rockstar does, like, the themed holiday stuff pretty good, actually. Maybe we'll talk about that more eventually. But, yeah, the other thing, jumping back to superheroes that, of course, I got to highlight, it's Batman Arkham Origins. Goddamn, what a game. And yeah, I'm saying that. Over time, I am one of the people who grew to really appreciate it more. I don't know if like when it first released, I thought like, yeah, that was okay, but like it just didn't feel totally like Rocksteady. But now, after replaying, I replayed it last year. Yeah, it's good. Roger Craig Smith, of course, does a really good job at kind of doing his own spin on an Arkhamverse Batman. I love him for that. I think he's a great voice actor and a great Batman voice. But it's the fact itself that the game takes place in Gotham City at night on Christmas Eve. And the game world is covered in snow. It's like a nice, gentle, quiet snow. This is a Gotham City that you fly around that, yes, there's no NPCs in the game for reasons. But besides that, just makes it actually feel like a nice, quiet, lonely, snowy night. If you've ever like been in a blizzard or a snowstorm or anything like that, you know, like immediately once the snow calms down, there's that quiet. That there's like actually something scientific, I believe, like why things just feel so quiet and still. And the game kind of feels like that. And I love that. Not to mention the fact that it's also just a Gotham City riddled with Christmas decorations. From inside missions, when you go into like the Gotham City Police Department, they're decorated for Christmas, but also out in the world. You know, all of the Gotham squares have Christmas trees, there's Christmas lights strewn about the retail stores, lampposts, and it just really nails that feel. Not to mention, I mean, Gotham City and Christmas is something that is very cool, explored by Tim Burton in Batman Returns. So I'll take anything even adjacent to that. But it goes hard on the Christmas stuff, like straight, like it's probably the most Christmas game because it actually takes place on Christmas or Christmas Eve, which to me counts as Christmas. Yeah, I mean, the Joker theme is it's just basically a Christmas song. It's Carol of the Bells, it's like a spin on it. Like they just go all in on Christmas and the holidays, and you love to see it. So I just wanted to talk about Christmas, holiday spirit games. That's it. That's all I wanted to do today. Christmas is all I know, but if you have any other holiday games that kind of center around your holiday or encapsulate it in some way, I'd love to hear that because I think that would be fun to talk about in future videos, other holidays. But if you've never experienced these games or maybe, you overlooked some parts, hopefully maybe I shed a light on some things. I just kind of wanted a reason to talk about Christmas and stuff like that. I thought it was a good time of year to drop a video like this, obviously. But yeah, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know about your holidays, what you celebrate, if it's ever been represented in a game. If you have Christmas moments specifically in games, I'd love to hear yours. Plenty of games do Christmas events, items, stuff like that. So hit me up. But if you like what I'm trying to do here, man, I'm just talking about stuff I love. Click the like button. It helps me out. I'm just yapping here. But thank you guys for being here. Happy holidays. Whether you celebrate or not, have a great time and a happy new year. I'm Jake Baldino. Subscribe because video games. Pizza's on me.